from Clarity Compass to full execution, our Karis Wright.
Thank you so much, Freddie. I am really excited to share this with this team. Like Melanie said, many of us come to Toastmasters in order to garner up skills, get a little better, maybe get rid of those pit in the stomach. And for me, it's a great testing ground to share things that I'm working on before I actually take it to the public. And one of which is actually the Wright Step operating system. This has been something I've been working on for the last several years, and it is the precipice of how I connect with my clients. So I want to introduce you to a guy. And I've been working with him for a while. This is Dave. Not really Dave, but a representation of who Dave is, because confidentiality in coaching is king. But Dave is an overwhelmed corner office worker, company car owning, LinkedIn profile that says Senior Director Strategic Initiatives. Say that 3 times fast. Now, Dave's 47 years old, and when I first met Dave, he really didn't want to talk to me. He actually called me on a Tuesday, and Dave said, so I'm not quite sure why I'm calling you, but my wife says I need to talk to somebody. And apparently my drinking buddies, well, they don't count. And so interesting conversation with Dave because he was the reluctant coachee. My coaches in the room, have you seen folks like that before? Or have you experienced somebody like that in your life? Kevin, you're smiling. Sounds like you know someone like that, hey? Yeah. Poor Dave. Dave was overwhelmed, frustrated, needed a little bit of help. So enter my Clarity Compass. Now, in my last speech, I introduced the Clarity Compass to you, and it's 4 essential movements that I actually create so that somebody has extreme clarity, whether that's in their professional life, in their business, or in their personal life. I walk them through these 4 stages so that they understand what they truly, truly want in the world. It's really useful to understand what you want so that you can map out a plan in order to get there. Now, the 4 quadrants are clarity. Kind of makes sense. You need to know what you want. Get clear enough and get honest enough with what you truly want. And I got to tell you, as a coach, the one phrase I hear often is, oh, I don't know. So that's where clarity comes in. Let's get rid of those I don't knows. Let's have a great conversation. The next is confidence, because often we have some self-doubt that kicks in and we're wondering, like, am I confident enough? Is somebody going to find me out as a fraud? Oh, I've been there. How many of us have been there? Worrying that you're going to be found out. Yeah, Kevin, Shayla, I see you. I feel you. The next is actual confidence. Now, oddly enough, when you gain clarity and you gain confidence, naturally, your confidence boosts. Stephanie, I saw your head nod. Yeah, your confidence automatically goes up. There are connections from a neuroscience standpoint, but even just you're standing taller, you've got a little walk in your swagger in your walk, and you're ready to rock and roll. And then the last thing is connection. Now, connection has 2 different aspects. One is our deep connection to ourselves internally. How are we feeling? How are we connecting? Are we actually having deep, honest conversations with ourselves? And are we being honest with the emotions that we're feeling? That pit in our stomach, it's a signal to tell us something really important. And then it's connections to our staff, our clients, our outside world, our family, and really about garnering stronger connections to both self and others. So let's walk through Dave's situation. Now, when Dave first came to me, I asked him one question because he was really burnt out and frustrated in his job. If no one's watching, and you could choose anything because money is no object, what would you spend your time doing? And he looked at me like I had asked him the most bizarre question. he stopped and he paused, which I really value as a coach. And he said, silence? Oof. Well, I don't know if I want to answer that question, because if I do, I might actually be miserable. Really, it's about, I need to know more. So we figured out that his North Star was teaching, mentoring, and guiding others. We then worked on some confidence. He was feeling really incompetent in terms of his coaching skills. So we actually sat down and we worked on that as part of our goal. The next thing we stepped in as we worked on the skills of coaching his team was confidence. For Dave, his main thing was clarity and confidence. He's a highly capable leader who's really smart and picks things up quickly. But confidence for him was about getting in the repetitions. So we crafted a plan so that he would go in and coach one of his team on a regular basis and come back and get feedback. Not that dissimilar to what we do in Toastmasters. And what we noticed is, in a very short order, 8 weeks, and we were working bi-weekly, so 16 weeks really, he was starting to move forward, and he actually stepped into being a coach in his own right. And then connection. What he didn't realize is that connection to self was so exceptionally important. This is the heart of the work that I do. Now, the operating system operates on 2 different layers, and it is understanding what aspects need to be sustained first. The first thing I had to do with Dave was really understand that he needed clarity. He was scattered all over the place, didn't realize he wanted to leave a busy work environment and be self-employed. He needed to discern what his plan was, create it, understand it, live it, and believe that he could do it. Then he needed to align that plan and start to move forward. What were the first couple of steps? And then finally, execute. Now I'm going to pause there because I know that there's going to be a stay tuned for the next time we get together. But I'm going to leave you with this. Clarity Compass is about clarity, competence, connection, and confidence. And we're going to sustain that by creating a plan, discerning what's next, aligning this with what's happening in our world, and plan to execute.